Probably the biggest move in free agency so far to me, or at least the biggest needle mover so far, is Kirk Cousins to the Falcons. Now,
Mm.
is Kirk Cousins the best free agent that was out there if you just look at, what they are as a player? No, but the quarterback position is a position that can move the needle. So, how far do you think this Falcons team can go with Kirk Cousins?
So here's the thing with the Kirk Cousins thing. Before everyone rips that he makes more money than Bill Gates, it feels like at this point. The Atlanta Falcons are the Atlanta Falcons. When you look at it in the lens of the Cowboys or the Pittsburgh Steelers or the New England Patriots, yeah, the standard is Super Bowls. But let me tell you this, as a low self-esteem fan, the Arizona Cardinals, the Atlanta Falcons, our standard is not Super Bowls because they don't have Super Bowls to flex. They're just trying to be relevant. They're just trying to get in the playoffs. You know what Kirk Cousins does? Get them to the playoffs in a division that is garbage. It's just bad. As much as I like Baker Mayfield, I think Kirk Cousins is better. I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to win multiple playoff games. In fact, he'll probably choke in the wild card round. But that's all that matters right now with the Atlanta Falcons is just be relevant. If you can get a home playoff game, what that does for the owner's pockets by winning the NFC South, by bringing in Kirk Cousins and Darnell Mooney, who no Bears fans is not a number one option, but a pretty darn good number 3 option. Kyle Pitts will actually get targets now. I love the move. I know people that are so critical of it, and I'm like, guys, they still have a high draft pick. They can still pick whatever quarterback they want. They could still go the Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers route. And let's just say Kirk Cousins is awful, and that contract looks really bad. You draft a quarterback right now, sit him behind Kirk Cousins, that guy could save your franchise because you're still not allocating a ton of money to the quarterback position because Kirk Cousins isn't a top 5 paid quarterback. You could have the Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers thing. I think it's awesome. I think it's great for the Falcons. Now, if it was the Pittsburgh Steelers, no, the standard is Super Bowls in Pittsburgh's. The standard is Super Bowls for the Dallas Cowboys. Standards are much, much lower there. Yeah, it's a crap ton of money. That's what the market says Kirk Cousins is worth. I don't think Kirk Cousins is a top 8 quarterback. I think he's somewhere between top 11 to 14. He's a good quarterback, and he's going to stabilize that position. How about you?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I have a ton of respect for Kirk Cousins as a quarterback. I just think as a precision passer, pocket passer type guy, one of the best pocket passers in football. Now, he's in an era where, just being a pocket passer isn't good enough. And when we talk about the injury that he's coming off of, I feel more confident in Kirk Cousins being Kirk Cousins than, let's just say, another quarterback. Let's just say, for example, if Lamar tore his Achilles, I'm more confident that Kirk Cousins can maintain the level of play that Kirk Cousins has put on display more than I would trust Lamar Jackson putting forward the type of performances that he put forward because of the type of quarterbacks they are. And when you look at, that Falcons offense with Zach Robinson coming from that McVay tree, they're going to want to do a lot of, second level passing concepts, play action. I think that he's going to be a perfect fit for that system because, look at the quarterbacks that McVay has had. Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford. They've had very efficient offenses with quarterbacks who are pocket passers. And I think that when you add a quarterback like Kirk Cousins to this team, teams are going to have to respect their passing attack. And they have 2 good running backs. One guy, obviously Bijan Robinson. I think Bijan Robinson could be the best running back in football in short order. I mean, when you watch that guy play, you say, yeah, that guy has it. It's just unfortunate that he played on a team last year that, he was the main priority because the quarterback position was so damn bad and the play caller wasn't very good at all. So to me, I think that the Atlanta Falcons could 100% get to the NFC Championship game. Not only that, I think that they could potentially get the number 1 seed. And it's not because I think they're going to be the best team in the NFC. The reason why I say that is because they play in the NFC South. They're probably going to 6-0 that division. I don't think it's particularly close between them and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now that Kirk Cousins is on that football team, because this is a team last year that had Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke as their quarterbacks and won 7 games last year. Like, do they have to add some more pieces to that team? No doubt about it. They're not going, they're not a complete football team, but they're definitely much better today than they were a year ago. And, especially when you talk about the fact that they didn't have to give up any draft capital to get this guy. They still have a top 10 pick. They might have their pick at whatever defender they want to pick in this upcoming draft. So, I'd like to see them get a little better on the edge. That's one thing that I would say about that team, but they're definitely making some moves. I really like this offense now with Kirk Cousins. And I think that, this is going to be a team. They're going to be able to put you in a bind because they have a basketball team at receiver. And I know Kyle Pitts, over the past few seasons here hasn't lived up to what some people may have thought that he was going to be coming out of college. But I would say that, the quarterback play's been so damn bad. And I don't think Arthur Smith necessarily put an emphasis on getting him and a guy like Drake London the football.
Yeah. And, you mentioned the Falcons defense. They have a safety. His name's Jesse Bates. You know who he is, but the casual fan for some reason doesn't. One of the best safeties, ball hawks in football, who's there commanding that defense. The kid from Clemson, AJ Terrell. Very good. Not in the, I don't think in the elite Sauce Gardner tier of cornerbacks, but a very good number 1 corner that you need on your team. It's not just the edge. It's the whole defensive line is really bad. Grady Jarrett is getting old. So they have a lot of things to do on defense, but you say not a complete football team. On offense, they're really good everywhere. Drake London, Darnell Mooney now. I'm not sure if Scotty Miller's still there, but that's a burner. Kyle Pitts now, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. This is a really complete offense that might be the best offense Kirk Cousins ever played in. I know Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison was really good, but Dalvin Cook was never in his prime at that point. He was always worse with Justin Jefferson than people remember. He's a 1,000-yard rusher, but it was kind of a hard 1,000 yards, as well as the Atlanta Falcons offensive line. Behind the Lions and the Eagles offensive line, it's the best offensive line in football. And Kirk Cousins has never had that. He's legitimately never had that outside of the tackle on the Minnesota Vikings, whose name is escaping me for some reason. Christian Darrisaw. Really good left tackle. The center at times was good, and Garrett Bradbury, the guy from Alabama, that was it. After that, the left guard was an issue. Right tackle was an issue in O'Neal. The right guard was an issue. They've never had a complete. He was always getting beaten up with the Vikings. I'm really curious to see what he can do with a really good offensive line. And then you said it as well. If I'm going to rank the 3 quarterbacks, Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, I'd put Matthew Stafford, the Grand Canyon, Kirk Cousins, half of a Grand Canyon, and then Jared Goff. It's exactly what the Sean McVay offense that was born for the Los Angeles Rams needs. A precision passer that just gets the ball from A to B without it being an issue. They won 7 games with Desmond Ridder last year. A lot of people didn't watch a lot of Falcons games. He's so bad. He's not an NFL quarterback. He's so bad. They had to replace him with Taylor Heineke at one point. So I love what the Falcons did. I think they've had an awesome offseason. I'm curious what they do in the draft. Wouldn't be surprised if they took a quarterback. I don't think they will, but I wouldn't be surprised if they really love someone, maybe trade back and get someone later in the round to recuperate picks and use those on defense. But I love it. I absolutely love what the Falcons did. I can't believe anyone would hate on it.
I would love to see him get really aggressive, trade up, try and go get Malik Neighbors.
Is that your number 1 wide receiver in the draft? You talk a lot about Malik Neighbors. I was just curious.
He's number 2 for me.
Okay. Me too. I was just curious.
Far behind Marvin Harrison Jr. though.
The only difference is that 4 inches between Neighbors and Harrison Jr. for me. Sorry. Get back to talking.
That's why he's a perfect fit on the Atlanta Falcons now, because they have a basketball team there. You go out of Malik Neighbors to that.
He's not short. He's not short. It's just he's not 6'4". Yeah. He's not Drake London.
No doubt about it. Like, man, you add a Malik Neighbors to that offense with the run game that they have. I mean, they're going to be able to put a ton of points up on the scoreboard. Because I mean, look, Kirk Cousins in Minnesota this past season was fantastic. He had like somewhere around 18 touchdowns in like 6 weeks or something like that.
Mhm.
I mean, he was going to be in MVP consideration. And, I think that this is a move that I look at them and I say, man, they're going to be a tough team to beat this year. And especially because, like I said, I think that they're the best team in their division, and it's not really close. They're going to get the benefit of playing what they're going to play a second place schedule, I believe they're going to play. So, I mean, there's a lot of things to like about this team this upcoming season, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
I'm trying to think before we move on really quickly. I guess I could just look it up, but who else is in that division? Why am I
It's
blanking?
the
It's not. I know
Buccaneers,
the Panthers are awful.
Panthers,
I'm not even thinking about them. There's another team in that division that I'm completely blanking on. The
Saints.
Falcons, the Saints. The Saints finished second, so the Falcons should be playing a third place schedule, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah. Even the
There
better.
you go. That's what I was saying. But anyways, sorry.
Even the better. Yeah, no doubt about it. So